W261AX, Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 74 degrees, Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 teenagers were shot Saturday in Rankin. Allegheny County Police say it happened around 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon in the 300 block of 4th Avenue. Police say as many as 4 individuals wearing masks came up to 2 teens on foot and then opened fire. Police say the suspects ran away towards 3rd Avenue, and no one has been apprehended as of yet. Right now, no word on the conditions of the teens who were shot. Police also searching for a stolen black Kia that could be associated with the shooting. Pittsburgh police vehicle was involved in a crash in Allentown. This happened Saturday night around 9:45. A public safety spokesperson says the officer was on their way to a call with its lights and sirens on, driving down Arlington Avenue when it was involved in a crash with a civilian vehicle at Arlington and Knox Avenues. The officer and driver of the other vehicle were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, as temperatures are expected to reach the mid-90s this upcoming week, Allegheny County officials are issuing a code red heat advisory for Monday through Wednesday. County Department of Human Services and other agencies will check on older adults during this time with phone calls and by delivering meals. Also, outreach teams will connect with people who are experiencing unsheltered homelessness and provide water and cooling supplies. Unhoused adults may also go to the 2nd Avenue Commons each day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also, the city of Pittsburgh's 5 healthy active living centers will serve as cooling centers Monday through Wednesday. Well, the U.S. has dispatched search and rescue teams to help in Venezuela after a pair of powerful earthquakes just seconds apart tumbled buildings to the ground, trapping people inside. Here's ABC's foreign correspondent Marcus Moore.
People banding together to help survivors and their families there in Venezuela, and this rescue effort is facing an ongoing threat. There have been more than 400 aftershocks recorded since Wednesday's earthquake.
Simon Medina saying he brought gloves and a shovel to search for his very own mother and brother, adding that they go forward with faith. More than 1,400 people have been killed and more than double that injured. And according to a UN official, some 55,000 people are said to be unaccounted for.
KDKA Radio News Time 11:03. AccuWeather forecast next.
Life's best moments start with perfect choices. For Connie Nowak, it was a trolley ride and a 67-year love story. A life of family, smart decisions, and companionship with Chester the cat. Her retirement choice, the Village at St. Barnabas. Recreation, healthcare, close to family, everything on her list. Plus, it's an exceptional retirement value with a flexible entry process and affordable rates. St. Barnabas Retirement Communities, stbarnabascommunities.com, or call 724-444-5568.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We'll have some sun today with a thunder shower. It'll be humid, high up to 79. Mainly clear tonight, low 67. Very warm with sunshine tomorrow, high up to 87. Then hot on Tuesday, high 94. 100 on Wednesday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Rindy, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli.
There have certainly been some very interesting moments with the Penguins over the years. One group owed Mario Lemieux so much money that he turned that into owning the team. That was a tremendous stroke of luck for Mario, the Pens, and of course, the fans. So, what will this change of ownership mean as we transition from the Fenway Sports Group to the Hoffman family of companies? We've got 2 words: Mario Lemieux. While the Fenway Group left the Pens in a better place than when they took over, they somehow managed to upset the great Mario. Not good. The Hoffmans have rolled out the red carpet for Super Mario, and immediately everything seems right with the world again. These are hockey people. Yes, they are business people, but they love hockey every bit as much as they love making money. Welcome back, Mario, and welcome to the Hoffman family of companies. This just feels right.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, we begin with our leadoff batter. He is none other than Joe Giordano, former Pitt Panther baseball coach, now special assistant IMG Academy, Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on kdkradio.com, KDK Watch. Greg Diolis is here, Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment. Because it is a special, busy sports day around the world, a lot of things happening locally, we're just going to keep Joe for one segment. Then we'll get into the NHL draft, the new ownership that you heard my boss talking about moments ago, the Hoffman family with the Penguins. We got Meg Bolger, former WVU Oakland Catholic star, stepping up, talking about game changers, something she's real proud to be a part of. And the World Cup is underway, and we're going to be talking a lot about that with Micah Fitz, the women's soccer coach, of course, at Geneva, and Ted will be here to talk the NFL. So, woe is the Pirates. They lose 2 to Terry Francona's Cincinnati Reds. This bullpen recovery, back-to-back collapses, Friday 6-4, yesterday 9-7. So can they bounce back? And this is going to put a strain on them today when it comes to the final game of this set before they head off to Philadelphia and Washington. 2 tough losses. Skip, how are you? Good morning.
I'm doing fine. Would have liked to be talking about a couple of wins last couple of days, but I agree with you. I was watching the game last night and the night before, afternoon, I should say, and it's like we're right there, and then we make a mistake and lets up a couple of runs, but. It's just that consistency, and you want to see your starters get you as deep in the game as possible, especially to provide some relief for the bullpen. But it's just the inconsistency piece. It's like they're playing 8 innings of good baseball, and then a couple of mistakes in 1 inning are the difference in the game. It's I'm sure it's frustrating for the players as well.
Joe, it was a real heartbreaker yesterday when you get you make such a ferocious comeback. You take the lead and then you get into the 9th inning, and I guess this ABS system is a good thing, but as a fan, you get a guy with a called strike 3. Everybody jumps up and cheers. All 11 people that were still at the game jumped up and cheered, and you're feeling great about things. And then you get the challenge, and the pitch was literally a 1/10 of an inch. So a game of less than inches works out. And I know that you want to get it right, but the challenge system and the delay, or the ABS challenge, as well as the process of challenging a call on a field like a safer out, it just takes something away. And it's in football, too. You can't instantaneously celebrate a play anymore.
No, you're absolutely right. And, it's one of those things where, those elements have always, the human element has always been a part of the game. And that's where you get those epic arguments and ejections and the emotions of the game. Those are things that we remember, and certainly I've been a part of a few of those. But the point is, a 1/10 of an inch. The only thing I'd say is if the roles were reversed,
right,
and that benefited the Pirates, we'd probably say, that's why we have it, but because it worked against us. But I like the fact that you're only allowed to challenge so many of those,
right?
But those umpires are good, man. For the most part,
right?
If you look at how many pitches they have to call in a game, it's amazing. I mean, they're really, really good. And but it just worked against. But there were opportunities in that game that tenth of an inch shouldn't have been a factor.
No, you're right. And now one good or positive aspect, I think that from your perspective personally, was the return of Isaac Madsen. He gave up a really long fly ball. Reynolds made a nice catch on it, and then he sealed it with the next two hitters. So it was nice to see Madsen back in the Pirates uniform.
We talked about that, I think it was last week, and we said I was looking forward to seeing him back. I was tracking him in Indy, and he was doing pretty well. So, and with the uncertainty, the one thing that Isaac always brings, he pounds the zone.
Yes.
I mean, he's going to be around the zone. He doesn't walk people, and so again, there's. Believe me, if I was on for another segment, we could talk a lot about a couple of things that I saw in that game that were a head scratcher for me. But it's just consistency. Real quick, when the Pirates were down 2-0, and you had Triola hit a base hit the other way, and then Magnum came up and hit opposite field with 2 strikes. That's what we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lowe hits the 3-run homer,
right,
and we take the lead. And that's what we have to be consistent with. And then we make a couple of fielding plays that we should have made. And let the Reds right back in the ball game. So
right.
Those are kind of things that you got to clean up.
It was kind of a classic with Lau giving up, hitting you the home run, and then he being the guy that was, committed the error that allowed the game to be tied again. It's like he giveth and then he taketh away.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, let me jump in here a little bit. By the way,
I guess on a Sunday, that's the right thing, right?
Absolutely. Listen, right now we are streaming this live Metropolitan Window video screen. You can go to KDKRadio.com, KDK Watch, and I'm also streaming it live on my Facebook page if you want to check out what Joe looks like, always dapper with that backdrop of that Florida sunshine. We're going to get a 100-degree temperature here Tuesday and Wednesday. What's the weather been like in Florida, Skip?
It's been very hot. Now the actual temperature, mid-90s. We're supposed to get some of that afternoon rain to cool things down, but it's been brutal. Feels like 110, 111. So have some fun up there with that.
Hey, you got to pay a little price, Joe. Quit complaining about that. When you're down there in February, March, and in January, and you're enjoying the sunshine, you got to suffer just a little bit now. Come on, man.
Just turn the air conditioning down a little bit lower.
There you go.
All right, let's talk a couple of other things, and then we'll let Skip go, and we'll get him back for 2 full segments next week. We have a lot to get to. Wimbledon, by the way, something that the IMG Academy is famous for, great tennis players. That starts tomorrow, so we're going to be doing a lot of Wimbledon stuff in the weeks and months to come. But the World Cup continues to drive the headlines. The NHL draft, you're going to be seeing double because of those ruck individuals that were drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are twins. That's absolutely a phenomenal story there as well, too. So we're going to get to all of that and talk some NFL. But what about when it comes to stopping the sweep? You really have to do this. And it's not just a moral victory. It's just to prove to you that you can play good against a team who you should have really won these first 2 games. So how important is this one game at the end of June in 2026 when you have all this baseball staring you ahead? Sometimes a moral victory is a good thing, Skip.
No, I think that, again, when you break down a game, you're looking at, a few different aspects. You got your pitching, your defense, your offense, bullpen, etc., and base running. And I think that, what the Pirates just have to keep thinking is take those good at-bats on or out in 4 pitches or less. I'd like to see, a more aggressive approach. Seems like our starting pitchers, their pitch counts go up really quickly. Be a little bit more effective from that perspective. Give the bullpen a break. But yeah, when you're at home and you have the opportunity to win 2 games and lose, you don't want to get swept at home. There's no doubt about it. It's a lot more difficult on the road. You got to get this one today.
All right, last thing before we let you go, you got the Phils. Don Mattingly's got them back on solid ground, and then Washington. How important this road trip as we head into July, the hot time of the season, just before the break for the Midsummer Classic. Go ahead.
I mean, again, those are two really good teams. I think the Phillies were on the other night, or was it Sunday Night Baseball? Boy, they're strong. I mean, they can swing it, and they're playing very well. And with the Nationals, we got James Wood, who is an IMG guy for us. He's one of the starting outfielders for the Nationals, and they've been playing well.
Yeah.
But when you go on the road, it's a different ball game, and the Pirates have done okay on the road. But I think that you got to get this one at home because you're going into a stretch where if you're not on your game, you're going to get beat.
Yeah, Horowitz with a hamstring and O'Neill Cruz with a hand. We got Connor Griffin back. He had a home run the other night. Bryce Harper, speaking of homers, he's starting to hit his stride, too, for Philadelphia. So it's going to be interesting. Skip, next week, 2 full segments. Enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Great seeing you.
Always,
stay cool.
Always. A special assistant down there at IMG Academy. Short break, coming back. Some things happening in the world of sports and also getting ready for Meg Bolger in just a moment.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. The round of 32 is set to kick off in Southern California with 2 teams who have never made it past the group stage. It'll be an historic appearance for South Africa and tournament co-host Canada, who both finished runners-up in their groups. But now it's lose and go home, while the winner will face either the Netherlands or Morocco in the round of 16 on July 4th in Houston. I'm Fernando Carlos.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA.
Thank you, Andy Emroyd, for introducing Harmony Garden Organic Insect Control to Pittsburgh.
Nothing is safer, nothing works better in killing pesky insects. Protect all your plants with Harmony Garden Organic Insect Control. It is 100% non-toxic and earth-friendly, not insect-friendly.
But is it safe for our new puppy?
Harmony Garden OIC is safe for people and pets. Just spray and walk away.
Visit participating True Value hardware stores or go online to harmonyoic.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, Meg Bolger, former Oakland Catholic WVU star, coming up, Game Changers. She is going to be joining us in just a couple of moments. And she, of course, Education Community Relations Liaison. That is her current title. And we're going to get all sorts of good information from her coming up shortly. Well, the Penguins doubled down on rucks in the 2026 NHL Draft. They selected Marcus Ruck with the 39th overall pick in the second round Saturday, pairing the prolific scoring forward with his twin brother Liam. Liam was drafted right winger first round on Friday at number 22. Marcus is listed as 6 feet, 164 pounds. He has he's primarily played center and dished out 87 assists for Medicine Hat in 25-26. Some say the scouts project him to be a winger in the NHL. Seeing double, Boy, talk about two young kids who have to be really happy right now.
Yeah, hopefully these guys can cause a real ruckus when they come to the Penguins.
Well, and I think of that because I'm juggling 20 balls. That's why it's been a busy weekend. Yeah, I it was so kind of ironic. Sydney made a call to them, and they showed it, okay, on the NHL Network. They had him on the speakerphone, and I thought, they'll probably never play with him unless they surprise us all. Right. But it seems like yesterday that was an 18-year-old by the name of Sidney Crosby coming into the league, and now he's 38, pushing 39, so time stands still for nobody.
Yeah, and with hockey guys, I mean, you see guys get up a lot earlier than you expected. Didn't the Penguins have a teenage type guy come up this year and contributed quite well? So you don't know. It'll be kind of fun to watch these guys develop as twins. I'm sure they've played together all along their entire lives, and maybe at some point they'll get separated. But it's kind of funny how that kind of thing can happen where you have twin brothers coming in. It's almost a Steeler type thing, right? The Steelers love to have the brother situation, not just with the Pounceys, but the Watt family and the Hayward, Hayward. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the first time that's happened in the NHL since 2008. And by the way, his brother Liam, who was taken number 22 in the first round on Friday, 6 foot 174, right winger, put up 104 points, 68 games. Medicine Hat Tigers again in the Western Hockey League. So they put up a lot of points. Hopefully they'll be able to do that as Penguins. But I thought this was a pretty good story, too. The first overall pick, Maple Leafs, great history there as far as that franchise. They select Penn State's Gavin McKinnon, number 1 overall pick. So that speaks volumes for the Nittany Lions hockey program.
Well, it does. And it's kind of remarkable. Everybody was somewhat amazed when McKenna decided to go to Penn State, but then they thought about with Terry and Kim Pagula, the owners of the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres, and having the Pagula Ice Arena at Penn State in their name, and then putting up a lot of money to get McKenna in through the NIL process. That was, and it was believed that he was going to likely be a first-round pick, a number 1 overall pick. Had a little bit of an issue last year, if you remember. He had a little skirmish, bar fight type of thing, but was cleared of all charges. And to me, you're a hockey guy. You got to like a guy that's willing to drop the gloves no matter where he is. So
when you get older, it's a little tougher. So get it out of your system now, young man. Big weekend for Buffalo, obviously. And I do want to bring this up. Highmark, which I absolutely love that brand, connected to it for many years. The stadium goes up, and they cashed in a lot, and the fans were there and celebrating. And Jim Kelly seems to be on the mend after a little bit of a setback health-wise. But it was a big weekend for Buffalo.
Yeah, which is good. Buffalo and Pittsburgh, kind of similar cities. Hard nosed. So it's good to see that. And they're going high tech a little bit with that stadium where the fans are going to be undercover, but yet the field will be open. So it should be a real fun place to go. I'm looking forward to getting to a game up there.
And my boss and longtime friend, Mr. Spacciapoli, his family has roots in Buffalo, so I've been thinking a lot about him. And he had a really nice commentary on there, that editorial. The Hoffman family, one of the things that they must do, and I said this long before that editorial, and everybody else who loves the Penguins, the key to the future, you got to get Mario back in the building.
Well, and he rightfully outlined the fact that it was an ugly divorce when you had the Fenway Sports Group in there, and it just feels right to have Mario as part of this process, whether he contributed some funds to this or they were just smart enough to say, hey, we'll give you a little piece of the ownership group, just get back in there and be part of us again. Because when you bring Mario back, you bring in a whole bunch of other guys too, all those guys that he played with, and you bring back that era of those Stanley Cup runs that they had when he was running the show. So I think this is a very, very much of a positive for the organization.
Well, the only thing that a lot of people may be wondering what is next, they have a team down there in Florida, the Hoffman family, where they would like to use part of the Penguins farm system, and it means that the Nailers down in Wheeling may have to exit stage left. They've been there for 30 years, so let's just see where that ends up.
That always gets sorted out. They still have the Wilkes-Barre situation,
yeah.
The Nailers were kind of lower in the pecking order, so we'll find another way to get those guys. Well, maybe Davey Hansen and those guys can come back and
Johnstown Chiefs
put on the foil.
Slap shot. That's still Paul Newman was great in that.
Classic movie.
1977.
It's hard to believe, but when you watch the reruns of that and you see the equipment that the guys were wearing in that movie, it's hard to imagine.
Here's something that'll blow your mind. You realize Paul Newman will be dead 20 years in 2028. I mean, that's how long he's been gone.
And I've been using the salad dressing since then. I mean, that has no expiration date, apparently.
Newman's Own, I got the coffee today. Actually had a couple of cups of their coffee. Every time I'm in Coons Market, if his face is on it, I'm throwing it in the cart because all of the money, his daughter now runs that company. His wife, Joanne's still with us, but obviously aging in her 9th decade, still looking great. All the money goes to help people, and it's all towards charity. And he started this whole thing, the popcorn, the salad dressing, when he'd have people over for cocktails, and he would just whip up these concoctions, and he decided to put his name on it and sell it, and the rest is history.
Didn't he credit eating popcorn as what kept him in good shape?
Anybody that knows Paul Newman, and I know everything about this guy from how he raced cars to wore a beer opener around his neck, he drank a case of Budweiser a day.
Holy
Now,
Lord.
listen, not recommending it. I've seen a lot of people that have done it.
Case.
Maybe not a full case, but he's even admitted at one time in his life he would do that. And obviously when it wasn't working, but he had 2 secrets, tricks of the trade. And one of them I've used. He would have a portable steam bath with him wherever he went. So at the end of the day, in the steam bath.
Sweat it out.
Yep. But in the morning when he had to be on set early and maybe he had a couple of cocktails, because he liked wine and stuff like that, he would submerge his face in ice in the morning, and it snapped him out of it. So a couple of those years when I was working morning, noon, and night, I always had a tray of ice standing by to stick my head in it. Yeah, so it actually works. But
so what was your favorite movie role of his?
Listen to me. I absolutely love Joanne Woodward, maybe a little bit more than Paul, because she's a whole lot better looking. But when those two got together on screen, magical. But guess what was on just yesterday? Harper and the Drowning Pool, in which he played a detective.
Okay.
Great. And then Bullet with Steve McQueen, which was great, and is being remade right now. Steven Spielberg directing and Bradley Cooper starring. I would love to see them find a way somehow to reboot Harper. He was this kind of this devil-may-care detective in California. Great. And one thing about Paul Newman, he always had cool cars, just like Steve McQueen. Good stuff. And I can remember going to the drive-in as a kid, and there'd be 6 kids, my mom and dad, and my mom wishing she could date Paul Newman, and my dad knew that he would never be Paul Newman. You know what I mean? So a lot of good memories. And any chance you get to Coons Market and buy anything that's Newman's own, please do it. You know, they lost his son to a drug overdose, so they wanted to kick back some money and help people, and they've done a remarkable job. Absolutely love that brand and love those folks. I wish I would have had a chance to meet him.
I don't think there's a day goes by that I don't quote a line from Cool Hand Luke in some fashion.
What we have here, that was Mike Pinta's favorite. He would always go, Rob, what we have here is a failure to communicate. All right. Stay with us. We're coming up with Meg Bolger in just a couple of moments. KDKA.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Babbel proudly presents The Poison Gift.
Derek, hi.
Hi, I got you something. Ein bisschen Gift.
Gift? Ist das Gift?
Ja, ist das Gift. Für dich.
If you buy her a gift, don't tell her it's poison. Use Babbel. Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much anger these days. You know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com. It's where we will find a way to help you.
Presented by UPMC Health System, Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Cousins Roofing, Siding and Decks, and by Harold Shepley and Associates.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. We are Blood Cancer United. We do the most for more people with blood cancer. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 75 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A Pittsburgh police vehicle was involved in a crash on the south side in Allentown. It happened around 9:45 Saturday night. Public safety spokesperson says an officer was on their way to a call with its lights and sirens flashing, driving down Arlington Avenue when it was involved in a crash with a civilian vehicle at Arlington and Knox Avenues. The officer and driver of the other vehicle, they both were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, the identities of the two people killed in a single vehicle crash along the Pennsylvania Turnpike Saturday morning have been released. Hunter Fronius and Raymond Foster, both of Connellsville, were in a red vehicle around 2:30 Saturday morning on I-76 in the Hempfield Township area when the vehicle struck an overpass, overturned multiple times, and finally came to a stop. Fronius and Foster were trapped inside the vehicle. They were pronounced dead at the scene. KDK Radio News Time, 11:32. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDK.
Can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Food truck owners, today business will be booming. People will love your new menu and not make special orders. You will not roll your eyes when someone calls it a quesadilla. You will also switch to Progressive to get 30 customizable coverage options and restore your inner peace. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have some sunshine today with a thunder shower, mainly in the afternoon, high 79. Mainly clear tonight, low 67. Very warm with sun tomorrow, high 87. Moving up to 94 on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, 100. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Rindy, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, I'll be back in Monday. Yep, on the morning show, Big K Morning Show. Colin Dunlap with you Monday morning. Can't wait to start the week off right. 5:40 until 10 a.m. on Monday, right here, KDKA.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, back with your Pratt Pack on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Greg Diolis, Diolis Law, and Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment. Let's welcome Meg Bolger, a legend from Western Pennsylvania, as she joins us now on the Metropolitan Window video screen. Hey, Meg, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Great to have you.
So much.
You're going to blush, but I got to do this stuff because I got to get paid for doing something. So here we go. Meg Bolger is a legendary Western Pennsylvania basketball figure celebrated as one of the most dominant high school winners in WPIAL history and an All-American sharpshooter for West Virginia. And she, of course, started Oakland Catholic, class of 2003, right here in Pittsburgh. She compiled an astonishing 120-10 record as a starter, believed to be one of the most ever as far as by a single-player record in the history of the WPIAL. And when I saw that you had graduated in 2008, I went, has it been that long? But you look great. I know you're doing some incredible things. Your family is an iconic brand here. And this game changer thing that you're doing is outstanding. And as Greg takes over from there, your official title is Education and Community Relations Liaison. So, Mr. Diolis, take it away.
Good morning, Meg. It's great to have you join the show with us. Great to see you again, and I really appreciate you being with us. To start off, and we're going to talk a lot about your basketball history and some other things that are going on in the WNBA, but wanted to make sure that we had a chance to talk a little bit about in the foundation. But I've had a chance to attend several of those events, and they are outstanding. Rob, you should see Meg. I know you do some master of ceremonies type of work, but Meg is like the absolute master of running the show when it comes to the event that they have at Greenbrier. When you have both state senators in West Virginia, the governor of West Virginia, you have Joe Manchin there, you had Greg Norman there this year, and she's like Previn. She's just directing people where to go, when to go, how to talk. Meg, how much do you enjoy your work with Game Changer?
No, thank you so much. And it's been really nice to have you down there and have, people from outside of the state really start to understand what West Virginia is about, but also especially what Game Changer is doing. It's been just an absolute honor for me. I grew up going to West Virginia. My family, kind of has been an adopted family down there. So to be able to give back in a way that isn't just always through sports, which sometimes if that's, that was our lane for so long and it was important to kids, that was wonderful. But to bring education and joy and just kind of really change lives in a dramatic way down there now is really special. But, when you talk about these events, and that's what makes West Virginia so special, is that when you say, hey, we want to do something, we need to make a change, there's something horrible going on, everyone answers the call. You have, as you mentioned, we have state senators there, U.S. senators there. Joe Manchin is there. The governor is there. You don't turn anybody away. It's like a who's who of people coming back, which is really special. And I'm just under strict orders when I have my brother in the audience of, you better keep things moving along. No one wants to hear you up there. Keep things moving. So that's always in the back of my mind as the youngest of five.
And it's so talk a little bit more about what Game Changer actually does. It's a way to combat or teach the youth to combat what is the horrible fentanyl and opioid crisis in the state of West Virginia.
Yeah, they have just been completely plagued by it for far too long and being ignored, quite frankly, because they're such a small state. it's really about, and what makes Game Changer different than other programs is the prevention aspect. We are all about education and prevention at a young age, because most of these kids, unfortunately and sadly, are growing up with it. They have parents that are incarcerated, parents that have passed away, their grandparents are raising them, aunts and uncles that are addicted, friends that are overdosing in school. I mean, the stories are absolutely heartbreaking. So Game Changer's approach is not, oh, well, when you're already in that situation, it's too hard to quit them. They don't even know what they're addicted to half the time because they're buying things that they don't even know. So Game Changer's approach is really about the education at an early age and prevention before any of that can start. And these kids, they're just so bright. I walk away each time at an event or, speaking to schools, I learn something from them. They're so intelligent. They're on top of it. They see it. They know what it is. And they are so excited to learn and have the tools to then take it home to their families and their friends and teach them, because they understand the impact that it's having all over their state.
Yeah, Meg, what's really impressive from an outsider, as my wife and I get to come to the event and notice each year the children, not just children, but the young adults that receive accolades when they're there. And there was a gentleman this year, Rob, who was a high school sophomore, that kind of stole the show with his presentation about what he had learned through the Game Changer program, because they do go into every school or most schools in West Virginia to try to present to these young folks, ways to combat this program, not just while you're at school, but kind of take it home and help your family to combat the fentanyl crisis. And this young man just gave a great speech, and every person after that speech referred to him, and we're like, we don't want to follow that. This kid was that good.
Yeah, Parker Bain, he was incredible. And that's my favorite part of it. And I think that's what Joe Bozick, who founded Game Changer, he does such a wonderful job at these events. And like we said, it's the who's who. We have Tim Tebow, Garner, Jennifer Garner, Greg Norman there this year. I mean, you have these people that are just, world renowned. And I think the most impactful part of it is when these teachers, superintendents, the students get up there and they're actually able to tell their stories. I think that's the best part of it, because that's what you want to hear. You want to understand, why do I want to be invested in this organization? What are we getting out of it? And then you hear from them and you say, whoa, got it.
All right,
done.
Meg, let me jump in here, Meg. Before we get to the break, I want to jump in here. So for a number of years, I worked in West Virginia, had a television show down there. And now the backstory is this. Here's what went down. You had thousands of people lose their job in the mining industry. You had people with no place to go, no hope. And we're not talking about people who come from the wrong side of town doing unscrupulous things. We're talking about the athlete that tweaks his shoulder, or somebody who's downtrodden. They're dealing with pain from working in the mine. Next thing you know, they're on the wrong side of the opioids crisis, and it can happen quickly. Then they can't get the opioids, so then they're looking for an alternative. It becomes heroin. Some of this stuff is actually laced with fentanyl. And the bottom line is, it never ends good. So what you guys are doing is just trying to reset the bar, right? Right, Meg?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was well said. I mean, because I think people have this misconception of, it's the guy that never had anything going for him that hangs under the bridge. Just avoid him and you'll never run into it. The fentanyl and this crisis of substance misuse, it does not discriminate. And I think that's what these kids are seeing. They're like, I'm seeing it everywhere. It's a part of every community, every class. And it's just heartbreaking, but you're exactly right. And we're just trying to get out ahead of it in that prevention mode, rather than kind of leave these kids on their own to learn from, unfortunately, families that are already in the thick of it. So to get ahead of it and have them, be equipped with the tools and the education that they need to, then go on and make the right decisions and make healthy lifestyle choices.
All right. And by the way, how can people find out more about what you're doing at Game Changers? Go ahead.
You can go on GameChangerUSA.org. We have 2 films, one for high school and one for middle school, younger kids, both pertaining to making the right choices. We interview a DEA agent, so they're all free. All the education supplies and tools and the videos are on that website.
And let's just make it perfectly clear. It's not just Wild and Wonderful in West Virginia. It's Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Ohio, from sea to shining sea. This opioid crisis is just absolutely wreaking havoc and destroying people and killing people. So what they're doing at Game Changers is a real game changer. Meg Bolger is our guest. We're coming back on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show to talk some hoops next on KDKA.
The information you need People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Your neighbor Mike loves the summers in Pittsburgh, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield. And right now, you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced. We save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, we're back. Greg Diolis, of course, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment, Diolis Law, and Meg Bolger, former star WVU and Oakland Catholic. So you haven't mentioned this to me at all, and I thought my invitation would be in the mail. That Travis Kelce guy, from what I'm hearing, he's going to get married at Madison Square Garden over the 4th of July. So are you and me going to like roll up and hit the red carpet? What's the deal?
There are strict non-disclosure rules that you're threatening to ruin here. You can't be bringing that stuff up, Rob.
By the way, Alan Jackson performed his last concert last night, the great country star, and she recently was on stage with him. So I just want to say and I know that my producer, Ryan, is a big fan of Alan Jackson. He will be missed. He was an incredible talent, and I'm going to miss him being on the big stage. And, you know, nobody realizes this, and I know all types of music genre because I've played it all, from top 40 to soul, rhythm and blues, country, rock, you name it. Taylor Swift, as great as she is, she started as a country music performer. So I just want everybody to remember that.
Well, that leads us to Meg Bolger, a Greenfield / Squirrel Hill native, ending up in that lousy place 90 miles or 70 miles south of us and turning into a country legend, a country roads legend, somehow escaped from the University of Pittsburgh. Meg, what a great career you ended up having at WVU.
Thank you. It was awesome. And I was, I'm the youngest of 5, and I was always kind of like a homebody. So to be able to play with my sister for a year, be around, Mark still had his aura down there, and, he was in the NFL at the time. And my parents could come to most games was the most important thing to me. And we built a program, I probably could have went to a lot of other places, and people always said, why'd you go there? I wanted to play with my sister. I wanted to build something and be close to home. So it was a dream. It was really awesome experience. And I mean,
she froze up.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. We'll get her back. But she did have an amazing career.
Yes, both high school also with what she had done at Oakland Catholic, and being able to parlay that into a.
All right, she's back. So go ahead, finish your thought. Got her what?
Meg, what I was going to mention was you started out with the Oakland Catholic background, and parlayed that into such a wonderful career. But being the youngest in that family, you probably had a lot of getting pushed around on basketball courts for a while until you had to state your own case.
All right, so we lost her again. Story of my life.
A little choppy broadcast here this morning.
Listen, it's been a weekend, my friend. This is like just a little speed bump, but that's what they do to me. That's how they keep me on my toes. All right, before we do get back to her, I do want to say one thing. When you think about some of the talent in her family, along with her brother Mark, her father, quarterback Notre Dame. That's a really legendary family. So let's try one more time. Third time is a charm. Meg, are you there? All right.
Yes.
We got her back. Now, okay, Greg, once again, counselor.
So, Meg, what I was leading into was, with a family the size of yours and probably having to, as a smaller child, get pushed around a little bit, probably hardened you a little bit, toughened you up a little.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, at the time, I don't know if I appreciated it as much as I do now, running into my mom and her going, oh my gosh, fake yelling at the boys, like, okay, stop doing that. And then, we'd run back up and, want to be competitive and go again. So many times it was, my sister and I versus my brothers, and they're just swatting it down to Beechwood. They didn't care. It's rolling down the alley. They didn't care. They toughened us up. So I know that helped me in the long run.
All right. So
I have a 13-year-old and a 2-year-old. So I want her to do that to her now, because I'm like, you gotta toughen her up now.
Well, one thing is for sure, you got to be tough to play basketball at any level or any genre, especially in the WNBA. I got some questions to ask you. I'm the one, the Pied Piper, trying to talk Pittsburgh into getting a WNBA franchise. If Philly can have one, if Cleveland can have one, we can have one. Detroit has one, Toronto has one. So all close, but not close enough. What do you make of what's happening to Caitlin Clark right now? Because some would say it's a little over the top, but one thing is for sure, she's got Sophie Cunningham, but she could use a few other things, like maybe people backing off a little bit, but she's a really good basketball player, is she not?
Oh, she's tremendous. She changed the game. And in some ways, I mean, she's kind of the asterisk. And as, a mom and a coach now, I kind of think, okay, everyone, you're not all Caitlin Clark shooters. Let's learn to V-cut and get on that three-point line. Let's not step 10 feet away. Everyone's not a Caitlin Clark. But she's tremendous. And it's a shame. She should be more protected right now. And I know that there's just more attention, I think, than there ever has been on the WNBA, on women's basketball. That's social media. There's just, you want to be the next clip. And that brings out maybe a competitive edge in players that before you're just playing and you probably weren't being seen as much. You weren't being talked about. There weren't endorsement deals to be had. So now everyone wants to get their 5 seconds, and who better to do it against than the best player that you're facing.
Meg, you going to give us a little scoop here? I heard you talk like a coach, and I know you're coaching at the AAU level. Where it sounds like there's a little bit of a different career divergence coming up here. I'm going to get you back to Pitt somehow, some way. They've had troubles. They just signed a new head basketball coach on the women's side, but as you got a 13-year-old, that contract's about a 5-year contract. I'm thinking, maybe we can get a 2-for-1 when you get your daughter up there to the Panthers level.
Man, that would take a lot of persuading. I don't know. I love working out kids. I like being around them. I'm at my daughter's grade school now, so that's certainly not too competitive. But some of the things I see now, I'm happy to step back and not be a part of.
All right, so let me ask you this, and you probably do not remember this, but back in the day when you were matriculating through Oakland Catholic, I was doing a little play-by-play and also had a little thing with Rhino Productions, and we were everywhere doing high school sports like no one else. I really believe that crew that I worked with for 20 years, because of brands like Highmark, that really laid the groundwork for all the great things we're doing at Odyssey. But at one time, there were more D1 women players coming out of Western Pennsylvania than men. But now what I see happening, speaking of Pitt, volleyball is kind of like taken over a little bit, to where I think some young ladies growing up are like, hey, I want to play volleyball as opposed to basketball. So what do you think needs to happen to get us back on the map in D1 basketball, not just with young women, but young men? Go ahead.
Yeah, you're exactly right. When I was growing up, I always considered it was football in Western Pennsylvania and then girls basketball. We were right there in terms of crowds and attention. I think basketball at a certain age, it gets a little bit more physical. It gets a little harder. You get exposed more when you don't put the work in. You have to be working all year round, ball handling, fundamentals. I think fundamentals are lost. And when you don't have those, you're not going to be as successful. It's going to get frustrating. So girls tend to drop off and then think that volleyball's easier. Now you have to put the work in with that just as much, but we're losing girls to volleyball all the time because I think in their head, they think it's, oh, well, I can stand there. Meanwhile, you got to be pretty darn good at that too. So I just think that there's a lack of attention to detail, fundamentals, and putting the work in consistently. Kids want things now. They don't want to put the work in every single day, and don't understand that that's what it takes.
Rob, we're talking to a coach here. This is happening.
On the nose. On the nose.
She's going to be coaching, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, but speaking of coaches, we got to give some love to, I believe, and this is my opinion because I watched her coach Oakland Catholic, and I've seen every sport. I've done everything. I'm old. But she was the most intense and most incredible athlete. And to this day, I don't know what happened at Pitt. I thought it would be Steve Peterson's crowning jewel. But Susie McConnell-Serio has done more for basketball in general in Western Pennsylvania, maybe, than anyone else. Your thoughts?
Couldn't have said it better myself. I contact her all the time. She's become a friend now at this point, but, I still call her coach. I still ask her for advice. We still talk all the time. She was the most incredible coach. It's just not fair to be able to say, oh, who was your high school coach? Susie McConnell-Serio. That's not fair. She taught me everything I know about the game. So to have her now back at the high school level, when she did at Duquesne, she brought them up. And then, as you mentioned, at Pitt, I thought she would just be tremendous. But for them at Upper St. Clair to have her, they don't realize how lucky they are that she's back in it and coaching again, because she can turn players around. She just teaches the game the right way. She makes you understand it. She's incredible. I couldn't say enough wonderful things about her and her family.
All right, we got to go. You got 30 seconds. Anything else, Counselor?
Meg, this was an outstanding couple of segments with you. Thank you for taking the time with us. I hope we gave you enough opportunity to talk about Game Changer and the wonderful things you guys are doing there, and really appreciate you joining us.
Hey, come back again.
Honor. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Maybe we can actually do it, because I kind of run the show here, at least for these 2 hours, because they treat me, because I'm kind of old now. Maybe we could do some playoff WNBA stuff.
I'm in. You guys just let me know.
I'd be grateful. Hey, keep up the good work with Game Changers. Again, how do they get in touch with you at Game Changers? Go ahead.
GameChangerUSA.org, or follow us on Twitter and Instagram, just at Game Changer.
If you get a chance, send me a friend request on Facebook. I'm going to try to post this interview a little bit later today, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity.
All right, boy, she's done well.
Yeah, she's quality.
She is. All right, we'll take a short break. Noon news coming up, and then we talk some soccer. Micah Fitz, the women's soccer coach at Geneva, next. Bye-bye, Meg.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Are you smarter than an anchor man? And we have Joe from Penn Hills as a lifeline for me. Joe, what do you like? A, B, C?
Oh, I like the Super Mario. Is that A?
I'm going with you, Joe. You're my lifeline.
The answer was B, Incredibles 2.
Come on, Joe.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Folks, we're joined again by John Diagardi of Rome Monument. John, what is bundling?
When a family is planning a funeral, sometimes cemetery salespeople will talk to them about bundling or combining products with their services. They may pressure a family, telling them they can get a substantial discount by buying everything from the cemetery.
Is this not a good idea?
Not when it comes to the monument. When there is a middleman involved, you're paying an inflated price, even when you think you're getting a discount.
John, this is something families really need to know.
I'm going to be as direct as I can be about this. At Rome, we are the manufacturer. No middleman is involved. Our artists and craftsmen make your memorial from start to finish right at our facility. You've eliminated the middleman and saved as much as 50%.
Friends, you can learn more at one of Rome Monument's 9 showrooms or visit RomeMonuments.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 75 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 teens are in the hospital recovering after they were shot multiple times in Rankin. This happened around 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon in the 300 block of 4th Avenue. And near a church, police say as many as 4 individuals wearing masks approached the 2 teens on foot and then opened fire. Police say the suspects ran towards 3rd Avenue. Have not been caught as of yet. No word on the conditions of the teens who were shot. Police searching also for a stolen black Kia that could be associated with the shooting. Pittsburgh police vehicle was involved in a crash in Allentown. This happened Saturday night around 9:45. Public safety spokesperson says the officer was on their way to a call with its lights and sirens flashing, driving down Arlington Avenue when it was involved in that crash with a civilian vehicle at Arlington and Knox Avenues. The officer and driver of the other vehicle were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, the U.S. has dispatched search and rescue teams to help in Venezuela after a pair of powerful earthquakes just seconds apart tumbled buildings to the ground, trapping people inside. Here's ABC's Marcus Moore.
People banding together to help survivors and their families there in Venezuela, and this rescue effort is facing an ongoing threat. There have been more than 400 aftershocks recorded since Wednesday's earthquake.
Simon Medina saying he brought gloves and a shovel to search for his very own mother and brother, adding that they go forward with faith. More than 1,400 people have been killed and more than double that injured. And according to a UN official, some 55,000 people are said to be unaccounted for.
KDK Radio News Time, 12:02. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
A disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Babbel proudly presents The Poison Gift.
Derek, hi.
Hi, I got you something. Ein bisschen Gift.
Gift? Ist das Gift?
Ja, ist das Gift. Für dich.
If you buy her a gift, don't tell her it's poison. Use Babbel. Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We'll have some sun today with a thunder shower. It'll be humid, high up to 79. Mainly clear tonight, low 67. Very warm with sunshine tomorrow, high up to 87. Then hot on Tuesday, high 94. 100 on Wednesday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Rindy, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
He is none other than Micah Fitz. He joins us right now. He, of course, in the Metropolitan Window video screen. Micah, how are you today? How was that little getaway to watch Croatia? How was it? You have fun?
Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. Great game. 2-1 Croatia. Both teams qualified. So yeah, it was awesome atmosphere. Really excited.
Okay, so the final day of the World Cup group stages game has officially ended. Cristiano Ronaldo was in action with Portugal against Colombia, but after a 0-0 draw, the South Americans sealed top spot in Group K. Meanwhile, Congo, a 3-1 winner of Uzbekistan, who sees them qualify as a best third-place team. England qualified from the Group L and defeated Panama 2-0 to finish the top, while Croatia defeated Ghana, in which he was in attendance along with his lovely bride. 2-1 the final there. And finally, the legendary Lionel Messi came off the bench and scored as Argentina's group off of that Group J with a 3-1 win against Jordan, who are out. So the focus was on Algeria and Australia, second and third place, which after a 3-3 draw saw both teams qualify for the round of 32. Up next, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and that will be Wednesday at 8. And I guess I can officially say Mike will be a part of it. The former Pittsburgh Spirit, Paul Child, Greg Diolis, and I've got some Riveters and Riverhounds, hopefully fingers crossed, that are going to be stopping by. 100 Rooney Way, we're going to be live on my Wednesday night show, big part of a watch party, and then Lenny and Mr. Bartley will also do it later in the week, so I could not be more excited. So get us caught up to date where we are right now, moving forward and heading on to the round of 13. And, of course, Team USA recently lost to Turkey. So not much to be concerned about, as a late goal was scored against them. It's in the rearview mirror now, and now it's on to Bosnia-Herzegovina on July 1st. So go ahead and, Coach, fill in the blanks. Go ahead.
Yeah, so quick recap. So essentially group stage is finished out. So it's just the round robin event where groups of 4, they play every team in that, and then top 2 teams qualified. And then best 8 third place teams out of 12 made it through, and they advanced to the round of 32, like you said. So now it's kind of the big times. Now it's loser go home, or winner go home for that matter. If you lose, you're out. So some big games the past couple days, just in terms of teams qualifying. Croatia, obviously, the game that I was at yesterday, needed at least a draw to get into a spot, which they did. They pulled a spot against Portugal, which I think is going to be a great game too. World-class midfield with that draw. And so some really exciting games. Netherlands, Morocco's tomorrow night. So that's a first-place team versus a second-place team, but Morocco finished behind Brazil. That's a game to highlight. And then today, Canada, South Africa kicks off for the knockout stages. Then obviously the big one that we're all excited about, Bosnia versus the United States on Wednesday. Bosnia is a good side. They finished third in their group, but obviously advanced through the World Cup by way of knocking out Italy in qualifying. So tough match for the U.S. Typically, we haven't done great against UEFA-based teams, so European sides. But like I said, I think we've done really, really well throughout the group stage. Christian Pulisic looks like he's healthy and ready to go at this point. So yeah, hoping for a good result on that.
All right, before Greg jumps in here, one just word I want to mention as far as the game between Australia, the match between Australia and our loss to Turkey, there were 9 different starters in that final match. So one of the reasons why we were not able to get the victory there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Micah. Good morning to you. When you look at the initial rounds and getting to this now knockout round, what was or who were the teams, the countries, the sides, I guess is the right word to say, that got knocked out in the preliminary rounds that you didn't expect? Was there anybody that was we were anticipating maybe had a run at winning the whole thing that got knocked out?
Yeah, I don't know if there was any side that I thought would be able to win the entire thing, but 2 sides that I thought that were knocked out that I was unfortunate to see because I think they're good squads was Uruguay. They got knocked out. They finished third in their group, actually. Cape Verde was the 2nd seed, so that was shocking on that side. And then South Korea got beat out. They were holding the 3rd place for a little bit, but they're sitting on 3 points with a lack of goal differential. And they have some quality players on the South Korean side as well as the Uruguay side. And so those two teams, I think Uruguay was set up. They could have made the quarterfinals at best. South Korea is a side that at least getting to the Sweet 16, what we would call in the United States, which is the round of 16. Those two sides were really unfortunate to get through.
So as we're watching these matches, going forward, in a lot of the countries that we see that are playing, is there much of a U.S. influence? Do many of these countries have players that maybe came to the United States and played collegiate soccer, or is our collegiate soccer not good enough to compete with what these guys do on and I don't mean that as a slight, but most of these guys are professionals that are already beyond that, or do they have collegiate histories?
Yeah, I mean, really the only player throughout this tournament that I was highlighting as a collegiate soccer player was he's a midfielder from New Zealand named Joe Bell. He was the captain for University of Virginia for a couple of years, and so he's obviously a standout collegiate player playing at the ACC level and was one of the better players within that.
Right.
And good player for New Zealand, but New Zealand fell out early. So at this point, I don't know if there's any players within the competition that, at least that I know of, that played at the collegiate level in the United States. A lot of these players signed professional contracts at 16 or 17 years old before they would be even able to come. They would obviously ruin their eligibility requirements in the United States.
If you were a soccer agent and you had somebody like Messi, you wouldn't need any other clients, Mr. Diola.
Yeah, what do they call them? Transfers, I think, is the that's where the soccer agents make their money. I think they're like 10% too. They're big time.
Yeah, loan fees.
All right, so let's talk about Levi Stadium this thing Wednesday and our watch party at 100 Rooney Way. Come on down. We're going to have a great time. Lots of folks going to stop by, including Micah and Greg and the former Pittsburgh Spirit, Paul Childs, and working on some Riveters and Riverhounds. By the way, the Riveters ended their regular season undefeated. They did that recently, so congratulations to them. And Matt Gruba has really been working overtime to help me put this thing together, so fingers crossed we'll have a chance to see some of those stars stop by as well.
Rob, did we try to get the great Stan Terlecki to come to?
I put a call in.
Did you?
I'm waiting for a return call. That's somebody Micah has no idea who we're talking about.
No idea.
He's a Polish national player for back in the day, and he played for the Pittsburgh Spirit when Paul Child played.
So see, Greg's an NFL agent. Okay, Travis Kelce, that type of stuff. So I want to apologize to you. I've been doing so much recently. Now listen, he was so nice to come to Coons Market, and he probably didn't even catch it because he doesn't have an ego till he watches things over and over. I said, I want to thank you for joining us, Mika. So I'm like thinking Mika Fitzpatrick, Miami, is he going to end up coming here? But his name is Micah Fitz, so I want to go on record and apologize for that. So Levi Stadium, Bosnia coming from nowhere near California. Does that home field advantage really mean anything? Because Norway took over the Travelers Championship. They were doing the rowing thing at that golf tournament. So, does home field advantage really mean anything for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think it definitely plays a part. I think specifically, and just to be precise with this, the United States usually does their national training centers in California as well. And so not even just home field advantage in terms of nation, but home field advantage in terms of state. I mean, the U.S. is predominantly playing most of their international matches in the state of California, training in the state of California. And so to kind of be involved with that, I think is helpful. And I think the atmosphere yesterday was great. But again, like you said, Bosnia is a smaller country in Europe. So the travel duration distance with that, I'm not sure how well they'll travel, but certainly home field advantage should help the United States in this matchup.
So, Michael, when these teams, the countries, the teams that are put together for the World Cup, they don't have a lot of matches playing together, right? Most of these players play professionally on individualized teams. How long have these teams been together, these sides been together in training to kind of put together a teamwork type aspect?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think it's tough, and the World Cup is composed of 26-man roster spots, and so each team can only have 26 players. And so you touched on it; they don't play. A lot of the countries don't play specifically together all that much, and maybe more even infrequently. They have all these players together at once. They typically rotate between 40 to 50 players. They would call international call-ups, and so. Very rarely, and this is probably now most of these players have played in international breaks together, but interchangeably with different players. So to have this specific group together all at once is probably once every 2 years at most. European squads have a little bit of an advantage because they have a big tournament once every 2 years where it's a little bit more specific. But yeah, I mean, really what you're seeing is 2 weeks of tactics just interwoven within these teams that they had for preseason camp after their club season's finished up.
So I don't want to hear all this stuff about teamwork. These guys are all individuals playing individual matches and hope to get the ball in the right space, right?
Yeah, certainly. It's very individualized. And I think that that's a huge advantage with, I would highlight Brazil within that matter. They have a lot of individual talent and have been successful thus far with that. So I would circle them as a team. They have a tough draw against Japan. In all honesty, I think Japan's a great squad, but Brazil definitely is helpful with their individual.
All right, two more quick ones from Micah Fitz. By the way, we'll be live again at Coons Market as well this Thursday at around 4:30. And then the watch party, 100 Rooney Way, KDKA Radio, my show. He'll be there for that 7 o'clock hour. Lots of folks, including former Pittsburgh Spirit, who came to this country in 1972, Paul Child, also trying to get some stuff together with the Riverhounds and the Riveters. So, all-time goal scorer now in the World Cup, Messi pushing 40. He now has scored in 7 consecutive matches. Is there any end in sight? And then we'll ask you to break down Bosnia-Herzegovina and the resilience that they have to where Team USA may be thinking Sweet 16, but they can't fall asleep against Bosnia. So first things first, Messi, is there... I thought he was happy in Miami, MLS, kind of like my fond farewell. I'll sign a few autographs, put some money in the bank, and walk away. But he's playing like a hungry young kid in Argentina wanting to make a place on that roster. He's been lights out. I never expected that from him. Yeah, and I think the thing that's continually most impressive about him is just the way he goes about scoring goals. It's in all different styles and types. It's not just in the run of play. He's scoring free kicks. He's setting up set pieces for his teams really well from dead ball situations, corner kicks, of that matter. So I think just the versatility of him, and I think I attribute that a lot to IQ, but even the position he's playing requires a decent bit of covering ground. So it's not even like he's someone who's just floating up top always. He's checking, he's sprinting into pockets, receiving the ball. And not to highlight too much, they have a little bit of maybe an easier draw, some might say. It's not super easy at this point for any team, but I think that'll kind of help them at least progress, at least in the quarterfinals before they have a tough matchup. All right. Quick preview, and we'll let you go. What do you expect to happen? This is where it gets interesting because everybody, once you get to the Sweet 16 or 16 round, anything can happen, but you got to get over this one hurdle. This is a very important matchup, not for just this year, but for this program moving forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I jetted down my score predictions for each 16 matchup this morning quickly because South Africa Canada kicks off at 3, so I had to get them down as quick as possible. I have U.S. winning that match 3-1 is my prediction within that. I think Bosnia is a team that plays with a lot of energy. Edin Dzeko is a really mature player that plays up top for them. He's around his late 30s, 40s. So that's a prominent player. And then again, all these players play in high level Europe. And so I think that they're a collective team, but the U.S. has been on a roll. I think obviously the Turkey result isn't something that we were hoping for, but Pulisic played about 30 to 40 minutes, which I highlighted is now looking like he's fully fit to go. And so I expect, a positive result. And then you never would like to overlook an opponent, but our second round matchup could be Belgium. And that's another game to look ahead to as long as we can get over the hump of Bosnia would be a tough matchup in that.
So as you're watching, and it's Christian Pulisic, right?
Yeah.
When we watch him, he's clearly the United States star. Comparing him to a guy like Messi or Mbappe, would he be even on the field with those guys like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think he plays in Serie A, AC Milan. So I think he's capable in what I typically say of holding ground with those guys. So I think in a comparison matchup, there wouldn't be a huge spread. I think the difference between Mbappe and Messi is just the ability to pick their moments. I think Pulisic does well all around as a player, but I think the kind of the electricness of Messi and Mbappe to explode in those moments and score 2 to 3 goals, I don't know if Pulisic quite has that in his wheelhouse. So I think that's a big differentiator. He's not going to pick up a hat trick in these rounds where I think Mbappe and Lionel Messi.
Being that you're a lawyer, I want to change my name to Mbappe. Can you do that?
Yeah, we could do that.
Mbappe Pratt. I think that would definitely be a game changer. Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you Wednesday night. Hopefully you can drop by for an hour, but definitely at Coons Market and back here next week. You have been a bright light for us. You have really helped us with this World Cup. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Take care. See ya.
All right. I wanted to save a little bit of time for some other things that I saw in the world of sports. the bubblegum blowing championship was on yesterday.
Well, we're running out of sports, aren't we?
No, but this is the reason I want to talk about when we come back. There are so many different sports: professional softball, WNBA.
Yeah.
It's a magical time, and pickleball, Wimbledon. I mean, if you love sports and competing, you gotta love what's happening in the world today.
Don't forget, we've got the national hot dog eating contest coming up on the 4th of July.
That's right, my man Joey Chestnut. He's the best. Those Nathan dogs, I never miss it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Stay with us.
Here's a World Soccer Championship recap.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. Group K came to an end with Colombia and Portugal fighting hard to win the group. And in the end, after a 0 draw, it was Colombia who took the top spot. While the Democratic Republic of Congo needed a win to move on to the round of 32. And they got it by scoring 3 unanswered goals against Uzbekistan. Colombia now face Ghana, Portugal against Croatia, and DR Congo take on England. I'm Fernando Carlos.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding, with an exciting opportunity.
Normally, Larry, we offer $500 off any complete roofing and siding replacements. For our spring promotion, we're offering an additional $500 off.
Joe, that's $1,000.
That's right, Larry.
You better call today. The roofing experts, JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711, 412-829-7711. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
In all seriousness, I wanted an extra segment before we finish up with the NFL. I want to talk about this Pirates situation. Man, not that it's like the rug's being pulled out from underneath us, but man, we got to stop the madness right now. We got to figure a way to start winning some of these series and forget about worrying about who's coming back, who's not healthy, who is healthy. They just got to get their groove going again.
Yeah, I think I need to get to a psychologist or something, because the way that one took the wind out of my sails last night, I was devastated for a while. I think Neil Walker said that Pittsburgh is stunned as a result of I don't know that was it was that bad that the entire city was stunned, but I certainly was taken aback. I thought that Eugenio Suarez just hit a pop up to right field to end the game, and that thing just kept carrying, went over the wall. But to have that one, to lose that game after the great comeback, and Skeens killing us the night before, but then he came back. He gave up 4 runs, but then he pitched very effectively, kept us in the game, and then Montgomery loses the game for you late. And it's just so disappointing, so down, disheartening to see what happens late in games with this team. I mean, they're losing games to teams that aren't very good.
No, Cincinnati's one of them.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing, and I give Paul Skeens a lot of credit. He said, look, I'm not above reproach. There's something going on here. What do you think is going on here?
I think it all goes back to the World Baseball Classic. I also can't figure out why they got rid of Marine as their pitching coach.
Yeah,
that was the one strong point that they had last season, was their pitching. They fire him, and I'm not an expert, and I can't tell you what's different other than the fact that you had a kid that was generally throwing his fastball at 101 miles an hour, and now he's throwing his fastball at 97. Now, 97's still hard to hit, but it's different. It's not overpowering, and it doesn't shock the consciousness when a player's up there and he sees the 101. It's almost like the kid, I think his name was Cook, for Detroit in that preseason game when he faced Seth Hernandez. He saw that 102 and his eyes almost popped out of his head. We've lost that part of the Skeens approach, and it's unfortunate. But I still like this Pirates team. I like this group, all except for the backside of the bullpen.
All right, Robbie, put your headphones on. Rob, right here, Robbie. Put your headphones on. He's in there getting ready to do the news. I got to talk to him about Wimbledon a little bit. A couple of things are on my mind. I got to talk to my Wimbledon guy. So I asked Greg off the air, why is Serena Williams coming back at 44? I'm glad she is, but your thoughts on why she is coming back at 44, not just to play doubles, but singles.
Well, as I was over here preparing for the news, as you say, or in other words, browsing the internet, I was actually just reading. 30 seconds ago, I was reading the story of Serena she said she had to pretty much convince herself to play singles. She was going to play doubles with Venus, but she said that there was like a Monday deadline. It was a Sunday, and she's thinking, can I really do this? What am I doing? And she finally said, you know what, I'm going to go play singles. She said, barely anybody gets this type of opportunity as an athlete, so she might as well do it. But she's facing a 20-year-old. Well, I'm not sure what day it is. Joint, I think is her last name. I'm not sure how this is going to go.
I know.
Hey guys, give me a little bit, elucidate me if that's the right word. Illuminate me.
Elucidate better.
How does she get automatically qualified to play? Is it like the U.S. Open?
Yeah. She's Serena Williams, the greatest female athlete ever.
Yeah, but she hadn't played in 4 years. There's some other poor, person struggling on the tour had an opportunity to play in Wimbledon. He gets knocked out because.
I'd rather watch Serena Williams. Here's the thing.
She's a 23. Greg, she's a 23-time Grand Slam singles champion. So they had one last wild card entry. I think they'd rather give it to Serena than somebody else.
Yeah, Rob, what has she done for me lately? Well, she hadn't done anything.
Well, last time I checked, Margaret Court is no longer playing. Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley used to play for the Pittsburgh Triangles, is no longer here. But I do want to talk a very serious note. Thoughts and prayers go out to Chris Everett, childhood crush, the person that really introduced me to tennis. Her ovarian cancer came back. She will not be commentating. And, when you think about Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, Chris Everett, Martina Navratilova, Rob, a little before your time, obviously, but right in the middle of my time, they did a whole lot for tennis. But Bjorn Borg, why they're making the big money now and they're no longer using wooden rackets. And Chris Everett was one of the reasons.
Yeah, I was definitely sad to hear that news that the ovarian cancer had returned. And just hope for another recovery.
Yeah, me too. So who do you think? Is Alvarez playing? I don't think he is, because actually
Alcaraz, not Alvarez.
No, it's Carlos Alvarez. Not Alcatraz. Alvarez.
No, it's Alcaraz, isn't it, Rob Taylor?
It's Alcaraz. Who cares?
Yeah, Alcaraz.
He's not there though, from what I hear. I don't know if that's a fact or not. I know he didn't play in the French, but if he's not there, maybe Djokovic actually has a chance. But Sinner, these guys, there's still some young players out there. And any player from Team USA that has a chance on the women's side, I know who you're going to say, but anybody in particular?
I've been trying to get on the Madison Keys bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a lefty from the U.S. But is Naomi Osaka? Is she in this tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
no. They probably gave her a spot to Venus.
Sloane. What's her name?
Sloane Stephens?
Yeah.
She's in it as well?
Yeah. So hopefully we can get the flag. After all, it is our 250th birthday, and I'm sure those people in Britain remember that little fight we had.
They remember it differently.
And Carlos Alcaraz, he's not playing due to a wrist injury.
See, I cover it all, folks, just like the wide world of sports. All right, Robbie, thanks. Short break. NFL coming up next. Ted Arnott, Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Here's a World Soccer Championship Team Spotlight, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Argentina arrives as defending champions, anchored by its aging but peerless creative forward, the greatest of his generation. Behind him, a disciplined midfield and explosive wide attackers make them a threat from every angle.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are your property taxes too high? You have from July 1st until September 1st, 2026 to file an appeal of the Allegheny County Property Tax Assessment. Contact Richard Ernsberger at the law firm Barrenden Ernsberger. Call 412-391-2515 for the help you need.
Don't miss the City of Pittsburgh's Independence Day celebration Saturday, July 4th. It's presented by People's Natural Gas, Rugby Realty, Generator Supercenter of Pittsburgh, and by Red Ribbon Soda, Pittsburgh's Pop. Michael Bartley, Rachel, and John will be live from Point State Park starting at 2 and ending with a fireworks soundtrack extravaganza right here on the Voice of Pittsburgh 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 76 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Well, happening now, Bike Pittsburgh hosting the first of its 2 Open Streets Pittsburgh events. That means there are street closures right now for that route. Street closures near Market Square downtown, near Forbes Avenue, the Armstrong Tunnel, 10th Street Bridge, and East Carson Street between 10th Street and 21st Street. The road should be open by about 3 o'clock this afternoon, but Open Streets Pittsburgh is giving people the opportunity today to bike, walk, skate, or roll through Pittsburgh neighborhoods while exploring local businesses and cultures. It's the first of 2 this summer. Pittsburgh police vehicle was involved in a crash in Allentown. This happened Saturday night around 9:45. Public safety spokesperson says the officer was on their way to a call with its lights and sirens on, driving down Arlington Avenue when it was involved in a crash with a vehicle at Arlington and Knox Avenues. The officer and driver of the other vehicle were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. KDK Radio News Time, it's 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDK.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have some sunshine today with a thunder shower, mainly in the afternoon, high 79. Mainly clear tonight, low 67. Very warm with sun tomorrow, high 87. Moving up to 94 on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, 100. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Rindy, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, I'll be back in Monday. Yep. On the morning show, Big K Morning Show. Colin Dunlap with you Monday morning. Can't wait to start the week off right. 5:40 until 10 a.m. on Monday, right here, KDK.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Everybody listens to the hometown sports talk show that is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Matt Gruber from the Pittsburgh Riverhound sent me a text saying we have confirmed for our watch party, and it will be a watch party, and they'll be able to watch it. You will with us as well. 100 Rooney Way. Greg's going to be there. Micah Fitz will be there. We're all going to be there getting ready to cheer on Team USA against Bosnia. They drop that little thing that is the soccer ball and get that match underway on the pitch at 8 o'clock. We're going to have from the Riverhounds, Danny Griffin, Lacey Kelp, Brad Sample, and Sam Bassett.
The Bassett Hound.
Oh, now see, That is a match, no pun intended, made in heaven. And that was your line. You came up with it, and I love it. I love my Riverhounds and Riveters. And Matt, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to have a really good time that night. All right, here he is, Mr. Ted Arnaud. Ted, welcome back. How are you, and how has life been treating you?
Doing great. Great. Ready to rock.
All right, so let's get down to some NFL news and notes. The kids versus the vets. How do you think that's going to pan out as we get ready for the first training camp of Mike McCarthy? The young and not so young. How do you think they will gel, Greg?
Well, the vet at quarterback is going to win that matchup with the kids. I think a better matchup is at defensive line. How much will they continue to rely upon Hayward as opposed to getting Harmon and the rest of that gang more time? Because I think that makes everybody more effective if Hayward can remain fresh. But that son of a gun, he doesn't get going until about 15 plays into the game. He likes to get into the flow of it. I don't know how much you want to have somebody in there instead of him because he's still got a lot of ability left, Ted.
Yeah, and it's costing them a lot of money. They need to get some reps out of him. I think he'll be very similar in the number of reps this year that he was last year. And like we've talked about before, he brings a lot more than just playing reps. He brings a lot of mojo to the defense. So I think they rely on him. And if he can get the same amount of reps as last year, it's going to be a success for the defense this year.
Yeah, I guess the other, or another spot that we would look at, the younger guys maybe getting more reps or, a little bit more time on the field would be in that pass rush, the edge rusher type part, getting Jack Sawyer more of an opportunity as opposed to maybe TJ or Highsmith or Herbig, and, how that whole mix of, you got four guys, you rotate them in and out. That's a pretty good looking group of four guys that should always be fresh, Ted.
I agree. TJ is going to take his time off that he's going to need to get his energy back. But your substitutes are looking just maybe not as strong as him, but very close to it. And they're going to have great rotation in that outside rush.
And I guess the next area where you're looking about getting young guys on the field is with the rookie draft pick at offensive line and seeing what you do as far as rotating. Is Broderick Jones going to be back and able to compete? And if so, I mean that makes you really strong. But whether or not he's there as opposed to the young guys coming in with Big Max coming in, it's going to be interesting.
I think the offensive line, I think the inner core is going to be very strong. I think they're going to have some questions, need for rotation on the tackles. But I think the offensive line is going to be more used to playing with Aaron Rodgers, his pace, his speed, his tempo. And I think that's going to help them. I think you're going to see a real quick offense. You're going to see Aaron Rodgers releasing the ball very quickly. It may take away from some of his downfield throws, but I wouldn't count him out on anything stretching the field either. So I think his tempo is going to match this offensive line perfectly.
All right, let me jump in here real quick and ask you a question, Greg, because this is what you do all the time. You take that average blue-collar worker and turn him into a perennial all-pro or a 10-year vet in the National Football League. So I sent this to Andy Toole from Robert Morris last week. John Gruden, who gets all these boxes of swag, got something from Robert Morris, and he talked about, hey, I used to coach at Pitt. Hank Fraley's from Robert Morris, and just loved John Gruden. But how can a guy like a Dylan Cook, who basically is not on the radar, gets a shot for a first-rounder, your left tackle, the most important position many people believe on the offensive line, and not only do they compete, but they shine? How do they stay under the radar that long?
Well, and it's not unusual. I mean, and not to brag on ourselves as but you take a guy like a Chris Hubbard who came out of Alabama Birmingham, got cut by the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Steelers then signed him. He's with the Steelers for 3 years. In his third season, he got 6 starts. We parlayed that into a 5-year, $35 million contract after just 6 starts. Hank Fraley is another example of a guy, an undrafted free agent from Robert Morris, gets cut by the Steelers. They were trying to sneak him onto the practice squad. The Eagles claim him on waivers. He goes in there. Bubba Miller breaks his ankle in the last exhibition game, and all of a sudden, Hank's a starting center and has an 11-year career. Offensive line, Ted, seems to be a position where the fine lines of that guy who is a number 1 draft pick as opposed to an undrafted free agent, but yet can still compete at a super high level. It's just, maybe you mature later, maybe you get different types of muscles come into play as you get older. You see these guys in college that can bench press house, but yet they don't play strong. You almost have to have playing strength as opposed to weight room strength.
That's a great observation, too, because what you see probably is the difference between the first and second rounders and the fifth and sixth rounders. That spread tends to dissipate the longer each is on the field and playing in preseason and getting any kind of exposure. So I think, the injuries, the opportunities, all the other things are really important to see how those guys come along. But I think you look at those guys and really analyze them, what you guys do, as to what the difference is between the first and the fifth or sixth rounder. I think that starts to melt.
But especially, Rob's talking about this Dylan Cook, who really was a quarterback, in college and in high school and then early years in college, and then changed positions. So, wow. Again, now you put on some real fast muscle that way. Some people would wonder how that fast muscle gets there, but it doesn't matter. But then, he has matured really quickly and turned himself into, I thought, probably, a at least average, if not better, left tackle in the game. Now, they were helping him a lot. They were chipping. They were, keeping a tight end next to him so that he wouldn't get overexposed. And he did get exposed in that playoff game with the Texans, who had some really good edge rushers. But I think, going into camp, he certainly has an edge on anybody else that's there. I would be surprised if he doesn't line up as their starting left tackle as the season begins.
Teddy, comment on that, then my next question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Greg. Everybody got exposed by the Texans defense.
Yeah. And it was indecent exposure, Ted.
It was indecent exposure. But I agree. I think, he's shown the ability to do it, and that experience that you gain is just tremendous. And even if you get, have a few bad plays, you're going to learn from it. And the key, I guess, is to his success. How fast can he learn from it?
Yep. And how do you come back after that one bad play? Do you let that get you down and create 3 bad plays in a row, or do you come back and fight through it?
Yeah, and as coaches, you tell them, forget the last play. It doesn't exist. You got to go on to the next play.
Got to be like Ted Lasso, right? It'd be a goldfish, 10-second memory.
Right.
Hey, speaking hook, line, and sinker. Hey, speaking of the Texans, have you seen the latest about C.J. Stroud, how they can't get together on a contract, and maybe next year the possibility of C.J. Stroud coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's agent talk. He'll be fine. They'll get it done. You guys listen too much to what agents say. The agents are full of baloney. You got to understand that from the beginning.
It's Sunday sauce day. I just got to stir it a little bit. All right, Jennings Dunker. Why am I buying in on this guy so much?
Because he's cool looking.
He is cool.
Yeah, got the redheaded.
But can
mullet.
he play? Can he play?
We'll find out.
He probably can.
They all can play on paper up until the preseason and any reps in the season. So, but he is a good-looking candidate.
One of my former business partners, a guy named Melvin Bratton. You remember Mel Bratton?
Yeah.
Who played for the Miami Hurricanes. Mel used to describe guys. He said he can't play dead in a Western.
Darnell Savage, late-round rookie, secondary. What do you make of Darnell Savage, and why hasn't Joey Porter got his $30 million a year? Because if you can give Nick Herbig that money, you should be able to give Joey Porter $30 a year plus.
I think you're likely to see Darnell Savage on the practice squad, and I know no besmirchment to his career, but I think he's got a long way to go to make this team.
Joey Porter?
He's going to get
soon?
paid.
Soon?
He's going to get paid.
All right. Ted, Joey Porter soon?
Oh, he's going to get paid. he's going to set the new bar for his position in the league. All the other ones are going to be pointing to his contract to try and get there.
All right, let's stay in the secondary before we go to break. So what about Ramsey and Elliott? What do you want to see this year?
More productivity. That was really probably an area that was, lacking for them. Now, Ramsey, I kind of like the way that they kind of rotated him around and made him to try to be a little bit more productive, but he didn't live up to the advanced billing. I think as the year went on, he got a little bit more consistent, and I think we'll see a little bit better player now that, he'll be able to be within that system.
Coming up, we're going to talk about Sorsby, a man with no leg, and even the CFL, you can't go there either. Right, wrong, or indifferent, no supplemental draft. What does he do over the next year, if anything, or is there still a fighting chance when it comes to the legal aspect of it? We got a lawyer in the house and an NFL agent. He, of course, Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment, and a man about town who knows a little bit about everything. That's his recipe for success. He's Ted Arnaud. This is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
Andy Amrine here for Harmony Garden Organic Insect Control. This is not your average garden variety insect killer. Harmony is your only insect control you need for your garden. Nothing is safer, nothing works better than Harmony. Spray your trees, flowers, plants to kill garden pests including aphids, green fruit worms, mites, soil lice, and russets. To get your bottle of Harmony, ask for it at any participating True Value hardware store or online at harmonyoic.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
So it wasn't that long ago the Steelers were saying that Brandon Ayuk could be everything as far as the wide receiver position. Well, he ended up getting injured, and now he's been on the squawk box, if you will, telling everyone he doesn't like Frisco anymore, wants to head to Washington. What in the world is going on in the city by the bay? Can you tell me anything about that soap opera, Greg?
Well, only what I've caught out of the corner of my eye, which is he's blaming his ex-agent for causing the rift between him and the 49ers, and that he still wants to get back there. So we'll find out if he's calling him ex-agent. I got to get on the phone and see what's going on with that situation.
Teddy, isn't it amazing? As much as we think a lot of these injuries are basically clear cut, they get the surgery, they go through the rehab. And you see them come back very quickly. George Kittle had the torn Achilles. He's been looking pretty good in off-season workouts, and it hasn't even been a year. Patrick Mahomes, the same thing. But then you got Malik Neighbors with the Giants, and now I had to go in and get a second cleanup, as they called it, surgery. So the knee can be a very funny thing, but especially when you're a wide receiver.
Well, it can be. As you know, Dr. Chuck Capito specializes in those things, and he'll have a different analysis on almost every knee and how they come back. It really is amazing. But you really need the good training staff. I think you need to have a good coordination between the medical staff and the training staff. But you can have the same injury have a whole different result in different players.
Yeah, and it's strange how, Ted, that's such a sensitive joint, and when these guys at the the level that they play and the speed with which they run, tuning up one of those knees as compared to tuning up one of our knees would be a whole different animal.
All right, so this is the next thing, and boy, we got the right guest for this. So, Teddy, Sorsby wanted to go to a supplemental draft in July. NFL said thanks, but no thanks. He tried to go north of the border. CFL said thanks, but no thanks. And a lot of people are saying you're depriving this young man of making a living, and you're making money off the gaming industry in sponsorships. What do you say to the Mr. Sorsby? It just continues to make no sense to him, but maybe it has to be making sense for the league to be able to make a point, and even the CFL. Go ahead.
Well, you got to look at any of the issues come down to teams and different leagues, and they've got to do what's best for the team or the league. And, you can have a guy like that say he's being mistreated, but you also have everybody else on the team and their fans saying, look, you got to do what's best for the team and not necessarily worry about one individual. That's my opinion.
There are so many puns that we could run here. I guess the one of which would be don't bet against him having a good career eventually.
Well,
yeah.
But here's the thing when it comes to you, counselor, and it has to do with what you do. You practice law, and you're an NFL agent. There's no, let's put it this way, you're not on the fence. You're basically on the side of, look, you just can't have it when it comes to professional sports.
Right, and once you've done that, the problem is that nobody, and there isn't a right to play football in the National Football League. There's a privilege to play in the National Football League, and when you do something that jeopardizes everybody else's careers and everybody else's livelihood, that league is going to be very harsh to rush to not deal with you again, and it's hard to get yourself in. And he tried all of the different venues, but the fact of the matter is, even if they did have a supplemental draft for him, that doesn't mean anybody had to pick him.
So what does he do now, clinical-wise, as far as wait till next year? What does he do?
Go hang out with John Gruden. Just keep working out, be ready to go, and then you're available in the regular draft. But when you have no more film than you had from before, it's going to be, really hard to imagine him being drafted in any fashion. And he may actually face some types of discipline and things of that nature from the NFL, because they can look forward or they can look backward into what you've done historically, especially if there is evidence of him having gambled on himself.
You can't admit this maybe, but I think we could at least ask Ted. Ted, do you think there's still such a thing as collusion when it comes to certain stories like this, because they just don't want the bad element in the league? Or just hint, hint, wink, wink.
Hey, there's no crying in football. I think that I don't know that I would call it collusion. I think Greg hit the nail right on the head. I mean, you got to do what's best for your league and your team. And you're looking at a bunch of other players who are going to look at something that was done specifically for one player, and then you set a really bad precedent. And I think that you got to look for what's best for the league and the team.
Yeah, Ted, and when you look at it that way, these owners all want to compete and win. If they believe that he's going to win, that collusion goes right out the window, because there's one guy that's going to say, hey, this guy's going to make my team better. They're going to take him. But I don't know that Sorsby had shown enough to be that guy that you're going to risk alienating all of your friends.
All right, so I'm going to ask. Go ahead, Teddy. Go ahead.
I'm just mirroring what he said. It comes down to accounting. His debits didn't outweigh his credits. And to that end, they're not going to take a risk on that.
All right, so here's the other thing. So they had the big news in Buffalo, the stadium, the great brand that's Highmark, the Wall of Fame, the announcement, what they're going to be doing in the new stadium. And O.J. Simpson will not be a part of this one. His name will be no longer in that place of honor. Can you separate the two? I don't think you can, but a lot of people would disagree with me because of what he did on the field, and he did make Buffalo relevant in the National Football League for many years. Was absolutely great at running the football there and at USC. Teddy, you first.
Well, I go back to the same issue. I mean, does his inclusion really degrade more than it would upgrade for the fans of Buffalo? And I think people are just saying no, and you can't criticize him for that. I mean, that's too big of an item.
See, I'm the other way around. If you're going to put a list of players that were great and did great things for the Buffalo Bills, I think he has to be on the list. I don't think you have to, celebrate him with a ceremony or anything like that. But the fact of the matter, he created those plays. He did those things. You want to put an asterisk next to it or something like that, I get that. But that's my same argument for Barry Bonds. I mean, there are a lot of rats that are in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Ty Cobb among them. But it's just the recency bias that causes us to say, well, we didn't really find out about the Ty Cobb dirt until way after, and he's in. Well, let's not go after him, but these other guys aren't going to get in, and I think there's a little bit of hypocrisy with regard to that.
Ted, final word. Go ahead.
Well, I just think it comes down to a decision as to what's best for the community and the team. They're being sponsored very heavily by the community, and I think they've made that analysis. I can see what Greg's saying, but if they want to put the statistics up, that's one thing, maybe with an asterisk. I don't know. But as far as putting him on a honored list, I don't think you can do that.
Well, isn't there a little more hypocrisy when you look at it like Hollywood? They're still running the airplane movies and the O.J. Simpson things, and they're making money on those replays, but yet the NFL won't show highlights that have O.J. Simpson in it. I guess maybe they have more things to put out there, but why does one continue to use that video and the other doesn't?
Mr. Arnaud.
Well, because I think Hollywood's still making money off of it.
Right.
And they've decided that, they can't really make much more money off of putting him on anything, so they're not going to do it.
All right. Hey, Teddy, always a pleasure. We'll catch up with you next week.
Okay, guys, have a good one.
All right. All right, so now what do you do? But your father, the great Sonny, is no longer going to be watching those Pirate games with you. At least he is with us in spirit. So how does your Sunday? I mean,
Well, we're going to go to the game today. I'm going to.
Oh, that's why you're a little dressed down today, casual.
We're headed straight from here down to the game and maybe do a pizza day. My dad wasn't a big fan of pizza, so we're gonna do a pizza there or something after the game.
So, Pirates, just some things that maybe have you a little concerned.
Well, that's why I'm going down there. I'm going to get it sorted out for you, Rob. I just got to get more in person and get a little bit more personal involvement with them. That's the problem. I haven't been down there in a couple of weeks, so we'll get them straight today.
All right. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. We appreciate your time. You're going to be a part of the big watch party coming up. We'll be at 100 Rooney Way. That's Rooney Avenue right there in Accushore as Team USA is back at it in the round of 13 against Bosnia-Herzegovina. And they really get it underway perfectly, 8 Eastern. We'll go at 6 until 10. We're going to have Greg down there, also Micah Fitz, the women's soccer coach at Geneva, and confirmed just moments ago, Matt Gruber, Riverhounds. We're going to have Danny Griffin, Sam Bassett, Lassie Kelp, and Brad Sample, and they're going to be with us from 8 to 10. So it should be a lot of fun. Go Team USA. Wimbledon starts this week. Can Scotty Scheffler, the world number 1, end up getting this win today? He is one shot off the pace of the Travelers Championship. Going to be talking a lot about the new ownership, the Hoffman family with the Pens. It's exciting time for the world of sports. And guess what? The Steelers start camp in a month. So we have a lot to do. And I hope you'll join us each and every week for the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Have a great day, everybody.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Are you smarter than an anchor man? And we have Joe from Penn Hills as a lifeline for me. Joe, what do you like? A, B, C?
Oh, I like the Super Mario. Is that A?
I'm going with you, Joe. You're my lifeline.
The answer was B, Incredibles 2.
Come on, Joe.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas. The perfect place for mom.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability.
I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Babbel proudly presents The Poison Gift.
Derek, hi.
Hi, I got you something. Ein bisschen Gift.
Gift? Ist das Gift?
Ja, ist das Gift. Für dich.
If you buy her a gift, don't tell her it's poison. Use Babbel. Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Don't miss the Pittsburgh Music Festival, July 11th and 12th at Pittsburgh Brewing Company in Creighton, featuring Joe Grishecki and the House Rockers, Billy Price Band, Norman Nardini, The Gathering Field, and more. Benefiting Band Together Pittsburgh and Autism Pittsburgh. Presented by Pittsburgh Brewing Company and U.S. Steel. Tickets at pittsburghmusicfestival.com.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 77 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 teens are recovering after they were shot multiple times in Rankin. This happened Saturday afternoon around 2 o'clock in the 300 block of 4th Avenue. Police say as many as 4 individuals wearing masks approached the 2 teens on foot and opened fire. Police say the suspects ran away towards 3rd Avenue. No word on the conditions of the teens who were shot. Police still searching for suspects and a stolen black Kia that might be associated with the shooting. Pittsburgh police vehicle involved in a crash in Allentown. It happened Saturday night around 9:45. Public safety says the officer was on their way to a call with its lights and sirens on, driving down Arlington Avenue when it was involved in a crash with a civilian vehicle at Arlington and Knox Avenues. Officer and driver of the other vehicle both taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, temperature is expected to reach the mid-90s this upcoming week, so Allegheny County officials are issuing a code red heat advisory from Monday through Wednesday. County Department of Human Services and other agencies will check on older adults during this time period with phone calls and by delivering meals. Also, outreach teams will connect with people experiencing unsheltered homelessness and provide water and cooling supplies. And unhoused adults may go to 2nd Avenue Commons each day from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. City of Pittsburgh is opening its 5 healthy active living centers to serve as cooling centers also Monday through Wednesday. KDK Radio News Time, it's 1:02. We have the AccuWeather